Welcome back to another episode of Built from the Inside Out. I'm Brenda, your host, and I'm here with Ale Mora, my co-host. ¿Cómo estás?
Hello, I'm good. I'm good. What about yourself?
I'm doing good.
Mrs.
Yes.
Future.
Almost.
Yeah, almost. Almost
Yes.
amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you all for being here. We are so excited because we have been,
It's been a while.
yeah,
Like over a month.
more than a month, I think.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for your
Yes.
patience. Thank you so much
Thank
for.
you. We've been out. I was traveling, and then she was traveling, and then I was traveling, and then our schedules weren't matching up. But finally, we're back, and I'm so happy to see you and be back.
Me too. I'm so happy because of your engagement and everything that has been going on in your life.
It's been thank you. You're so sweet. Yeah, it's been a lot. Wedding planning. It's been a lot, but it's been fun at the same time. So.
It's amazing how you're like on top of everything because I don't know. I met a lot of women that like bride to be's, but they take like a year or two in order to do everything, and you're like, I'm already have my dinner, my engagement dinner, I'm already have this, and I was like, wow, she's amazing.
Well, we've been together for 2.5 years, so I was like, I'm ready, and también I feel like it's also like just God blessing us and putting, things are just falling in place. Like for the dinner, like our moms are doing it, and then a lot of our family members are pitching in. So like, and then I had so my videographer and photographer, she knows she has a client who was looking for someone who needed a wedding dessert table in July. So she's going to give me the dessert table for free. So
wow.
Yeah. So everything has just been lining up. So it's not me. I'm going to say it's God because he's been blessing us.
Yeah.
Like seriously.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, but we have to do a new episode of
for that.
Yeah, for that because I'm really want to hear all the story, and I know all the people wants to hear the full story.
Yeah, I was gonna do a vlog, but we were waiting on the videographer to send us a professional video, and he finally did on Saturday. So I just got it, so I was like, I need to put it together.
Yeah, we're looking forward for that video.
So we can do that. I'll do the vlog, like vlog style, and then we can talk about it like podcast
the behind the scenes.
Yeah,
because I think that's the I don't know, the whole emotion in the back. It's just I don't know. I still have my English, like as you know. I always gonna say that until I feel completely confidence about it.
No, but it sounds you're doing really good.
I have been just watching TV shows in English and trying to talk in English as much as I can because when I was doing the reels for Instagram, I was listening to me and I was like, oh my god.
No, but you sound good.
Yeah, right.
Yes, no, you do. Yes.
But okay, let's start with this podcast with this episode.
Yeah, so for this episode, we're doing Limiting Beliefs Part 2. We already did it in Spanish, so this is basically going to be the translation of what we spoke about in the last episode that was uploaded in Spanish. So to summarize real quick what the first one was about, if we remember. But so we talked about inner work and the fact that it is so important for you to do your inner work, to do the healing in order for, I know a lot of people try to, I was listening to this today too at like another video I was watching and this lady was saying it. She was like, a lot of people try to upgrade their lives. Like they want to go buy a Ferrari. They want to go buy like a bigger house. They want to go buy like an expensive purse. They're like, but if they're not doing the inner work, if they're not upgrading themselves internally, like all of that isn't really gonna upgrade you at the end of the day. It's like it'll look like you're upgraded, but you're not really upgraded.
Yeah, because that's just superficial, right? It's not something that it comes. I think that makes a lot of sense with your name because it's built from the inside out. So you have to build yourself inside, and then everything is gonna come out on the outside.
Yeah. So she says like once your inside is okay, and then you want to go buy those things. She was like, it's fine, but if you're like looking for external things to give you that validation, she was like, you're gonna be empty. And she was like, don't do it. Yeah,
that's true, because sometimes you have a goal and you're just I don't know, use that a goal. Let's say you want to have a Ferrari, and when you got the Ferrari, you think the Ferrari is gonna give you happiness, but when you get
Exactly.
the Ferrari, it's like, okay, I have my Ferrari, but I'm not happy. So
Yes.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's why it's really important to have.
Yeah. So then you end up spending a whole bunch of money and you're still feeling empty inside.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. But
So,
for me,
uh-huh.
in my beliefs, is the emptiness. The only one that fulfill that emptiness is
Yes.
Jesus. No, for me,
Yes. Yes.
because
I
that
agree.
happens with me.
Hmm.
But it's, yeah, it is amazing how you can be or create or build yourself, and then how everything in the outside becomes better for you.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
It's
Yeah.
great.
So the definition of inner work is a deconstruction of what we are not. So, for example, let's say you have very low self esteem. That's something that you need to work on, and you need to change your mentality. So you could do that through therapy. You could do that through changing your environment, surrounding yourself by more positive people. Maybe just listening to other people who are now successful, or them sharing their story, because a lot of people think, oh, this person is successful because they were born into it, or they were handed, like somebody did that for them. And if you listen to a lot of success stories, it's no, they also came from nothing. So it's possible for you to also work your way up and accomplish whatever.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, I have a segment on my Instagram that it's called Los Fracasados, the
Okay.
failures. The
I've seen it.
failures?
Yeah.
Oh,
The
the failures, I think.
yeah, like the
Of course, I do it in Spanish,
yeah. I'm
but
trying to
I
think.
think
Like
it's
I
the
was gonna say the
failures.
failed man, but no, right? It's just
The failures, I
yeah,
think.
yeah,
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 or
yeah,
it's
yeah.
something like that. But
Yeah.
what I do in that section is just I tell the story about someone that we all know, like Walt Disney,
Okay.
and talk
Yeah.
about how or how his life was in order to be the person that he is now, even though he already died. But
Yeah.
I'm trying to do that with some different,
Like famous people
yeah,
or known
famous
people.
people or
Yeah.
known people, wealthy people.
Yeah.
So is the reason why I do that is because a lot of times I have the belief that you have to, I don't know, grow with some, I don't know, in let's say in some good area, or
Okay.
you have to like you
You have to like be born into that environment.
yeah, in
Okay.
order to
Yeah.
succeed. But if you know, if you like Oprah Winfrey, I was thinking about that on Wednesday, because I usually do it on Wednesdays.
Okay.
And I was thinking about her because she wore poorly,
Okay. Uh-huh.
and then so his uncle raped her at the age of
Um,
13, and her story is really, really,
like very sad.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
very sad. But you saw her now, and she just deconstruct herself, because she
Right.
can just stay on his life and thinking and being a victim of that bad situation that
Yeah.
she experienced. But as you can see her story, she's just like, okay, that happens to me, but that's not that doesn't define me.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I
I
think
like
that's
that.
deconstruct yourself,
Deconstructing.
deconstructing
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
is really important, because
Yeah.
it's not what it has been happening to you, it's just
How you react
how
to it.
you react to it, and
Yeah.
what do you learn about that situation, and how you're gonna be forward. Forward?
Yeah. Yeah. From now on, or
For
moving
now on,
forward.
yeah, that was the
Yeah.
question, the phrase that I was looking for in my brain. Yes, but
Yeah.
that's, yeah, how you're gonna be from now on. So it's,
Yeah, I like that. And she had to get rid of limiting beliefs in order to do
yeah,
that.
she
Yeah.
deconstruct
Deconstruct. Yeah, yeah. She
herself.
she was a victim, and then she decided, you know what? I'm gonna just deconstruct those beliefs, and I'm gonna build a new Oprah. So that's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
yeah.
Yeah,
So we can do
I like
that a
that
lot.
example. Yeah.
And that's the example.
Yeah.
Bueno. Aquí ya no sé
Okay.
qué más decir, hermano.
So to summarize what we talked about before, limiting beliefs, it's beliefs that basically are holding you back. So they're not like some of the ones we've talked about in the past. Money, like you have to work really hard in order to get money, but then the reality is that some people aren't working very, like, what we consider hard, but they're working smart. So that's a limiting belief. Another was all men are the same. well, we know that that's not true. So things that maybe we grew up, somebody taught us that, or we've made it up ourselves along the way, and it turns out that it's not true, and it's holding us back from reaching our goals by holding on to those limiting beliefs. So we need to let go of those beliefs and create new ones.
Yeah. And the last episode we also talked about one type of belief that it's you cannot be happy working on what you love.
Yeah.
¿Sí lo dije bien?
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Okay.
And I actually had that before. Like you hear people saying like, "Oh, don't turn your hobby into a job because then you're gonna lose the love for it." Well, are you really? I mean, does that happen to everybody or just you?
Exactly. Or
Yeah.
are you even experienced that situation?
Exactly.
Because sometimes the people just comment about something, but they don't even.
Yeah, because I used to say that. I would be like, people would always tell me, "Why don't you do fitness?" And because I used to be very into it a few years ago, and I'm like, "Oh my god, no! Like, I'm gonna lose my love for it."
Yeah.
And I had no idea. I never even tried it. That's what I believed.
Yeah, because you usually buy beliefs too from another people, and maybe if you ask, like we spoke about the fish. Right. I don't know if this episode when we spoke about the fish.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So we need to translate that. I think.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So
we buy some beliefs, and Brianna is gonna say a great episode of great example on how you buy beliefs.
Yeah.
With the fish.
Okay.
Okay. Fish situation.
So we talked about how there's like a family tradition of the mom is teaching the daughter how to cook the fish, and she's like, you have to cut it this size. And the girl asks, why? And she's like, I don't know, that's just the way we do it. So then they ask the grandma, why is it that we have to cut the fish this size? And she says, I don't know, that's just how we do it. So then come to find out, it turns out that her mom used to cut it that way because they only
great grandma.
The great grandmother of the girl would cut it that size because the pan she had was very small. So for it to fit, it had to be that size. So throughout all the generations, they had been cutting the fish that size without even knowing why, just because that's how they were taught, and they never questioned it.
Exactly. So we do that a lot of times with our family, with our friends, or with our inner circle. Inner circle.
Yes, you're doing good.
Se me traba la lengua, hermanos. but yeah, so that happens a lot with because I spoke about the ikigai.
Yeah.
And I was telling the story and how I have the belief that I can work in something that I really love because it's not or that I'm really passionate about it. So I read this book. It calls Ikigai, and the Ikigai is basically how you can find your purpose in life. No, I think the translation is the meaning of your life. I think.
What is it in Spanish?
En español es Ikigai, el propósito de tu vida.
The purpose
of your life.
Yes.
Yeah. So on Ikigai, it's an exercise. If you can read the book, it's really, really good. It's about two friends that are speaking about, they went to some city in Japan when they discovered that the people there lived for more than 100 years. And they also have they are really happy. So they were trying to figure out, okay, why these people is his longevity.
Well, I can't say it either.
Okay,
longevity.
La longevidad.
Longevity, I think.
Longevity, okay.
Yeah.
The longevity.
Someone out there will correct us.
Yeah, please. It's longer in that city, and why they live more. So they were trying to figure it out, and they noticed that everyone in that little city always work in what they are really passionate about. So the passion make you live more years. So I was explaining on the last episode in this episode in Spanish how you can create what you have to ask in order to find your ikigai.
Okay.
And Brianda, it's gonna help us to put the image in the whole video if you are watching it. But
I'll put it up on the screen for you guys to see.
Yeah. So basically, the first question that you have to do is, what do you love? What you really love? So let's say we were working on your example. No, it was What you love?
Yeah, so let me see. So what I love is like I love helping people. I love taking care of myself, like health wise, and I love psychology.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And what you are good at?
I would say I'm good at listening. Um, what did we say I'm good at?
Talking.
Talking. I never consider myself good at talking, but if you say I'm good at it, then thank you.
You have a podcast, girl. You obviously you are really good at talking.
I have certain things that I like to communicate. Yes.
Yeah. Well, you can be okay if you come. Okay, wait. We can ask there, and then we explain everything. Okay,
Okay.
and then you have to ask yourself what you can be paid for.
So for the listening part, I could be paid for if I wanted to be a therapist, if I wanted to go the psychology route, if I wanted to go the health route. I do have my certification as a nutrition coach, so I could also do that. And then the podcast.
Yeah, and what the world needs.
The world needs people to speak common sense into them. It is lacking right now.
Yeah. Oh my god. That's why we're both here.
Yes.
Okay, but so when you answer all those questions, you find out what you love between what you're good at it is your passion, and what you're good at it, and you can pay it for it's your profession. Yeah.
Okay. So you're good at it and you get paid. That's your profession.
Yeah.
You love and you're good at is your passion.
Your passion, yes. What you and when you get paid for and the world needs is your vocation.
Vocation.
Yeah, your vocation. And what you love and what the world needs is your mission. So
Okay.
it's really amazing. I know if you're on YouTube watching us or Twitch. I think we were
No, we went with Zoom.
Okay, use YouTube.
Just YouTube. Yeah.
If you're watching on YouTube, you can see the whole diagram, and you can everything is gonna make more sense. But basically, it's like 4 little circles like merging together, and then you can find your whole ikigai. So I hope this exercise helps, because it helped me a lot when I have so many passions, so I don't really know what I really like, because I like everything. I used to like everything.
Same.
So now when I did this exercise, I was like, yeah, okay, I found my mission, and when I have my mission, I can just go for it. And I think it's a pretty good start.
Yeah.
Actually, we did it with BCN. You remember?
Yes.
Because you that's the good thing about it. You can also do this for your business. Sometimes you create a business and it's like, okay, I have my business and it's good, but I don't know, I just want to have my business to get money. But when you have the money, is even worthy to continue with your business, or your business fulfill all your life purpose?
Yeah, because when you're doing a business only for money, I feel like the drive isn't the same because your why isn't that strong.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why you see people like jumping in a lot of businesses.
Yeah.
Like I used to be like that. I remember I used to be like that. Just let it like that.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's the ikigai, and you have another comment in regard. Let's.
Yeah. Okay. So before we move on, so ikigai means you found something that you love, you're good at, you get paid for, and the world needs. Those 4.
You ask yourself those questions.
Yeah, and once you find out, so there's a common denominator in all 4. And once you find the common denominator, that's your ikigai. Ikigai?
Exactly. Ikigai. Yeah, that's the.
Yeah.
That's a word. I think it's Japanese, but I don't know if it's a word or it's just.
I don't know. We were talking about unagi last time.
Yeah. If you're a friends fan just like us, you understand the unagi.
Okay. So moving on. Okay, so we talked about inner work. We talked about limiting beliefs. And then so we talked about absolute truths. So gravity would be an absolute truth because that's true for everyone. It's not like gravity is only true for me and not for Ale. It's for everyone. So you have to figure out what is an absolute truth and what is a limiting belief. And the best way to do this is to do like a body scan. I learned this from the universe guru, and she says whenever you have a belief, close your eyes and think about how it makes you feel. So, for example, I did this with a friend, and she thought her mom didn't love her, right? So, before she did this exercise, and when she thought about it, she started crying. And so that's an indicator that that is a lie, because a truth won't make you cry. A truth is just a truth. So I had somebody else. She had, I guess, low self esteem or an insecurity. And when I asked her to close her eyes and think about it, she also started crying. So I'm like, okay, that's a lie. And I feel like that's the best way to think about it, because when you think about gravity, you're not going to sit there and cry. You know, it's the truth. Or when you think about the fact that you're worthy, it makes you feel good. It doesn't make you cry. So that's one way to differentiate between
And what do
absolute
you think
truths.
about it?
I think it. So we use the coffee as an example. So I feel like it can get objective, because let's say that you're someone who doesn't like. Well, okay, let's just look at coffee in general. Some people say coffee is good for you. Some people say coffee is bad for you. But I guess that's where it changes for people, because like for me, I love coffee. So if I think about coffee, I'm like, oh, I'm thinking good thoughts. But then if I think about, oh, coffee's bad, I'm gonna sit here and cry. So I don't know if it's because it's a very shallow thing. I don't know, because I wouldn't know how to use it in that scenario.
Yeah, because I don't ask this in the last on the Spanish episode, but I was thinking, as soon as you were telling that, I was thinking about the verse in the Bible that says that your heart is no, your emotions are engañoso tu corazón
Okay, I
y
like
tus emociones.
not tricky, but I can't think of a better word than tricky. I guess kind of like a
So I was thinking about it, about what I'm talking about. So I was
Yeah.
thinking about it and was like, okay, sometimes if you do drugs, let's say,
Okay,
you
yeah.
can feel it and it's good for you. Like it makes you feel good. So how you know when it's really like when it's good or when it's
Yeah.
bad, but if you are feeling good doing drugs and you know it's not gonna help your body or help you grow, or you
Yeah.
understand what
I
I'm trying to say?
guess, yeah. I guess for that, you would do it obviously when you're not on the drugs, and then you would think about everything it has cost you. So I think like it wouldn't make them feel good. Like when they're sober and they think about how it's affecting them, they're going to look at how it's affecting them, how it's affecting their family.
Oh no, but I'm not okay. I did that example just to because I create the whole movie in my mind right now. So because I was thinking on that example, so we just like can we really believe in our feelings, or sometimes our feelings make us take wrong decisions?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, they could. Yeah.
That's why I was like,
yeah.
I just talk about it. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm like, what?
Yeah. I think it just works on certain things. But then how do you know which things it works on? Is what you're asking, right?
Yeah. Like what?
Yeah. Because I don't know how to explain it, but okay, I don't want to get too personal, but if we go into like, for example, my relationship, I don't want to say this. Okay, well, my boyfriend and I lived together first before being engaged, and that didn't feel right to me, but he felt right to me. And there was no logic behind it. He just felt right. So I don't, because you know, I know I have like younger cousins watching me. I'm not telling you to do this. This is not what I'm saying. But like he felt right.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know. I feel like it's very hard to explain.
Yeah, I think it's more like in the deep meaning. So we can add how it make you feel, and if it's gonna not glorify your life, but if it's gonna
like make your life better.
Yeah, something like that, right? Like okay, if it's make because sometimes when you wanna have an let's say you wanna quit your job, so it that's doesn't gonna make you feel right because you're thinking
you're scared.
So it's not, you don't have any good feelings. Right. But what if you really have a good purpose with your
Yeah.
emprendimiento, ¿cómo se dice?
Yeah, with your business.
With your business, yeah.
Yeah.
So
But then how does the thought of you doing that, your business, how does that feel? Like, does that feel right?
don't you think it's scary sometimes? Like, oh man.
It's scary, but I feel like I say, okay, so I've had friends and we've talked about different things, like for example, kids. I want kids. And I was telling my friend about it and she's on the fence about kids. So she's like trying to like hear the pros and cons basically. And she's like, well, why do you want kids? And I'm like, look, I can't, I could give you 1,000 logical reasons why not to have kids. I was like, but it's not something logical. It's a feeling that I have. I was like, whenever I see a little kid or whenever I watch a video, sometimes I start crying. Like, I want one. And that's not something that I can logically explain to you. It just feels like me having a kid feels right. So it's something that I don't really know how to articulate or really communicate just yet. But it's a feeling where you have no doubts. Like, it just feels right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But for the entrepreneurship.
Entrepreneur.
Yeah. How it's gonna be? Because what if one person is trying to have his business?
Okay.
And then he's like, "Is this a limited belief? Okay, let's feel. Okay, I don't feel right about it. I feel like weird. I feel scared. So that's why I'm asking these questions because I wanna make sure that you just think about your life. And actually I learned this on Sunday. Think about your life and think if you believe in God, what is the purpose that God have for your life.
Right.
So how is ¿cómo se dice maqueta en inglés?
Maqueta, what is it?
Lo de los arquitectos cuando hacen las casitas y los muestran.
Oh, I used to know this.
O algo
I don't remember.
Okay, let's see that.
Remember.
Let's say that.
Let me Google this.
Okay, we have to cut this part because it's too long.
No, it's okay. You can keep talking while I look it up.
Okay. Nos ponen en dos X. Yo siempre pongo todos en 2X.
Like a model?
A model.
A mock-up?
Mock-up. I think it's a mock-up. Okay. Yeah, I think it's a mock-up.
Okay.
So let's say that you die tomorrow, and then you have your whole life. You die old because of your age, and then you have your you went to heaven. Let's say that. I can explain it. So you went to heaven, and then God show you what's your mock-up.
Okay.
How was your mock-up what he have prepared for you?
Okay.
So you compare your life with your in case you live with your life. I'm sorry, you live your life with limited beliefs.
Okay.
Okay. Let me say this in Spanish, and that way you can explain it in English. That way it's better. Okay. Como que Dios tiene tu maqueta de vida, ¿verdad?
Okay.
Entonces, cuando tú llegas al cielo, tú estuviste todo el tiempo como que pensando en todas tus limitaciones y no en lo que Él tenía para ti. Entonces, compartes tu maqueta, o sea, ves tu maqueta que Dios tenía para ti, que era grandísima, y tú nunca creíste en ti, y por eso no te permitiste vivir esto de acá.
Oh, that's deep. Okay.
That's why I was like, hasta como, ¿cuándo?
Okay, so she was saying that... let's say that you lived a life in fear, basically, and listening to your limiting beliefs instead of being courageous enough to go and do what felt right. And then you die and you get to heaven, and God has a mock-up of what your life would have been, what he wanted for you, had you listened, but what he wanted for you. And then he compares it to the life that you actually lived because you lived in fear, or you let your limiting beliefs stop you from living the life that he had. Okay.
We have a little
technical difficulties like we usually do. It wouldn't be us if we didn't have any.
That's true. So, okay, you were talking about the example that I give you in Spanish, of course.
Yes.
Because it was too deep to translate it.
It was very deep. I liked it. Yeah, it leaves you thinking. So, okay, so she said that she compared your life to what God has destined you for. But we do have free will, so that just because he wants that for us doesn't necessarily mean that that's what we're going to get. It all depends on us. So she was saying if you're letting your limiting beliefs hold you back, let's say you die tomorrow and you go to heaven, and God shows you a mock up of what your life would have been, what He had planned for you. But because you listened to your limiting beliefs and you let fear get in the way and you didn't live in faith, He shows you the life that you actually lived. And which one do you think is going to be better?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. Yeah,
Yeah. Can you imagine?
So yeah, that's why I was like, okay, you can, of course, you can trust your feelings because your feelings always trying to tell you something. But sometimes when you have a plan and you feel, if you don't feel good, but you have the little, I don't know, like the hormiguita, the little
the butterflies
that tell you, okay, maybe it's gonna be scary, but just do it with that feeling.
Yeah.
So
do it scared, but do it.
Yeah, you're scared, but do it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's important with this, like,
yeah. I guess this focus is more on positive feelings. Because like if you think about starting a business but then I think that's where also faith comes in. Yeah.
Exactly.
Because you just have to believe that if this is what you feel is your calling, then you just have to believe that it is going to work. And I think a lot about I don't know if this is a good example or not, but when they burn the boats and it's like you have no other option but to survive. So whenever, I don't remember who came to America, Mexico or America, one of the two. And they're going to fight, I think, the Indians, the Native Americans. I may be wrong. You guys correct me if I'm wrong, but it goes something like that. And the general or the main guy, whoever, he burned the boats so that if something went wrong, people couldn't run back to the boats and leave. Wow. So he burned the boat. So he's like, you have no option. You either survive or you survive.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so a lot of people use that. Like, I don't necessarily 100% have that mentality. Like, when I've left jobs, I don't try to burn any bridges. I try to leave, like, on good terms because you just never know. Yeah. But I do like I kind of like the concept of, like, burning the boats because it's like, okay, but it's not so much actually burning the boats. Don't go and do that. But have that mentality, like, I chose to do this, so I'm going to move forward with it. Yeah. And I'm going to put everything I have into it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes if you leave everything in good terms, that doesn't mean that you don't burn the boat.
Yeah.
Because that's also your
I guess like a sense of security.
Yeah. No, pero tu ¿cómo le dicen? Como tu ay, ahora hasta ni I don't even speak Spanish.
Ni de aquí ni de allá.
La India María. Tu no autoestima, sino, o sea, lo que la gente dice de ti, tu
reputación.
Your reputation. You just use taking care of your reputation, and I think that's important. I don't know, that's so for me. So
I mean, just being a decent human being, you don't want to like leave on bad terms just because you're like, oh, burn the boats. No más porque sí.
You burn the business just because you really trust in this. Te imaginas de que tú haces,
Yeah, no, don't do that. Never burn. I don't believe in burning bridges. Don't. But like, kind of have the burn the boat mentality without actually going and like messing up relationships. Yeah.
Los indios aquí. But yeah, sometimes you have to say because people sometimes it's weird. Like explicar ese dato porque a veces la gente es muy rarita.
Yeah. Wait, which
kidding.
one?
Just kidding. No. Sorry.
¿Cuál dato?
No, que hay que explicar que no hay que ir a quemar el negocio ni nada, porque rumanos a veces toman todo literal.
This is a figure of speech. Please do not take this literal. Don't go burning stuff.
Yeah, please. Okay. Entonces, so wait.
So how did we get there?
So we get there because you were talking about the feelings, that how this belief make you feel. So now the other one is.
Yeah, so and then she goes on and she talks about your thoughts. So your thoughts, so you are not your thoughts. You are the awareness noticing the thoughts. So she says they're kind of like balloons, like they just pop up and you choose which ones you're going to grab onto and hold on to, and then which ones you're going to let go. So whenever we all have positive thoughts pop up, and we all have negative thoughts pop up. But which ones are you listening to? And then she says, she gives a little exercise or a little example of like, if you close your eyes and then say hello 3 times in your head, you notice that you made yourself say hello. Like you controlled your thoughts, which means you are not your thoughts. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, that happens a lot with I think I just spoke to you about this the bioneuroemoción. That it's whenever you have a feeling and like an emotion, let's say you're sad or no, you're stressful. I think that's the ones that really helps.
Okay.
You feel stressful, but it's sometimes because you are overthinking about some situation. Let's use your work. So you're stressful because you need to, I don't know, give a report to your boss. So you're really stressful for that, and then you start to feel your neck, like a pain in your neck, or your head. You have a headache. Headache.
Yes.
I know we say head. Okay, you have a headache. So that means that even your body, you can control your body with your thoughts, because you start to experience all these sensations on your body when you have an emotion, but everything begin with a thought.
Right. Yeah. It begins with your thoughts.
With your thoughts.
It's and the first time I ever heard that, I thought it was crazy, because there's also this guy on you can find him on YouTube. I don't remember his name. My friend sent him to me, and he was like giving a conference, and someone's like, "Oh, my lower back hurts," and then he's like, "Well, are you this and that and blah blah," and like he's like right on point with whatever. And I was like, "What the heck?" And then someone's like, "Oh, my neck hurts." Oh, it's, and then he starts asking question, "Are you going through this? Are you going through this?" And they're like, "Yeah," and they're like, "That's what it is."
Yeah, actually, I'm a coach on bioneuroemoción. And that's the connection that you have with your emotions and your situations. So I used to have okay, if you have a problem with your skin, that usually connect with your we can create an episode about this.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a good episode. Yes.
Because it's like it's really long. It's a really long, and then you have your right side and your left side, and everything have a different meaning. And it's your skin. It's the relationship, or how you good. No, ¿cómo eres de bueno con tus relaciones?
How good are you at relationships?
How good are you at relationships? So if you have a problem with your skin, so you can you almost like find the meaning why you have a problem with the skin, and it just depends on what part of the body you have the problem. So if it's in the head, sometimes it's with your dad, or it's really good. So we can create it.
Yes, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I have to study a lot because it's a lot of medical terms, but like name of the
anatomy of the body.
No, tengo que el nombre de las enfermedades en inglés. No sé cómo son.
Disease names.
Yeah, so I have to learn in English that part, because of course I studied that in an academy in Spain. But it was
we can just use Google Translate.
I'm like
Google everything. Google's your best friend.
So so we can but I say everything all of that because of it's good, it's real that everything starts with a thought, just like your coach is saying.
So I think we talked about it, how you can like level yourself up without internally. So you look the same on the outside, but internally you have a different mentality and you're just living a different life. And it's all in your thoughts. It's all in your head. So something that she does is she gives some homework. She says, get a journal, write down all the positive and negative things you learned from your dad, which we talked about on the first episode. Now do the same for your mom. Even if one or both parents weren't there for you, what did you learn from them not being there? And then what are your core beliefs you learn from them, from your worth, relationships, money, and life? And are these core beliefs limiting beliefs, or are they empowering beliefs? I guess that's the difference. So earlier when we were talking about like the feeling, it's like, is this empowering or is this limiting me?
Yeah, definitely. That's the situation.
And then are these beliefs the ultimate an absolute truth? And are they empowering and serving you, or are they limiting you? And then she also talks about triggers, and how they need to be addressed and healed. And the very first time I had Ali on the episode, 2 years ago,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
In
2 years.
2020?
Yeah.
I think it was. Yeah.
It was 2020.
She talked about triggers. And this is the first time I ever heard about it. How she said, "Lo que te pica te aplica, lo que te
Lo
toca
que,
te choca."
lo que te choca te
Yes, lo que te choca te toca. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So if something bugs you about a person, it's really telling you, "Hey, you got something you need to fix in you."
Yeah, because
Yeah.
if you have or if you experience relationship with different type of people, you are only mirroring yourself in those persons. So it's the example that I use for that I saw it like 8 months ago with for a psychologist. She was telling that if you tienes una herida, ¿cómo se dice?
If you have a,
Como un raspón, algo así.
I guess like a scrape,
Scrape
or
or
a wound.
a wound.
A wound.
Wound. Okay, if
Yeah.
you have a wound and somebody came to you and touched the wound, and then of course you're gonna feel hurt, right? Hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna feel hurt. So the person who came, he didn't know that you have that hurt, that wound.
That wound.
Wound or
wound.
Wound. Okay,
Yes.
you understand. Thank you. I amo que Brian no me pueda traducir aquí. Okay, yeah. So the person who came to you and told you, he didn't know or she didn't know that you have that wound.
Yeah.
So what makes you feel bad about the situation, or what makes you feel the pain, is not the person. Is the wound that you already have in your body. So it's the same thing with persons. So if you have a problem with someone and this person came to you and you're like, oh, she make me, or he did me this, or he did this to me. So it's like, okay, he didn't do anything. It's what you have inside that you are not noticed, or you having healed, that is making you feel in this way.
Yeah.
So when you have that mentality, it's not that good, because I have that mentality. So sometimes when things happens to me, I'm start to think, okay, what is going on with me right now? What is hurt me? So
yeah, because once you're healed, like if someone goes like that, like it won't bother you.
Yeah, because you only have the scar, and it's like, okay, you probably remember when you fell and you do your wound.
Yeah.
That's my new word. Now I know 101 words in English. Yeah. So yeah, you have if somebody touch you and you have this scar, it's just, I have this scar because I felt, and you remember the situation, but it doesn't
affect you the same way.
Yeah, it doesn't affect you.
It doesn't make you cry. It doesn't make you mad.
Exactly.
You hear it, maybe you won't like it, but you're like, you don't let it get to you.
Yeah, and you hear it and you don't like it. You don't even have a meaning on that situation. You probably say, okay, I remember that situation, but I act in this way when I had it.
Yeah.
So that's why people, it's like mirrors in front of you.
Right. Yeah.
Sí lo dije bien, creo.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's like a person's mirroring what you're going through, what you're feeling, or what you have inside of you.
And that happens too with persons that you like, or you admire.
Really?
Yeah, because if you admire someone, it's because you have the power in yourself to become that type of person. That's why you admire. Have you ever admired someone, and then when you met her or meet him, it's like, okay, it was good, but not that good. I don't know if that happens to you. It happens to me with a lot of times, and it's because I think you reach that level, so you start to just mirror in another person. I don't know.
Okay.
But
and it's funny that you say that, because whenever I did Fire You Up with Natalia, we had a class, and the lady told us, write down, I think it was like 3 people that you really admire, and then write down why. And then so I wrote like Jordan Peterson, because I think he's very smart, this and that, a psychologist or whatever. And then I wrote the Universe Guru, because I like how she teaches people. Like I feel like she helped me personally. So the fact that she's helping people, she's working from home, she like makes her own schedule. Like she just like exudes positivity. And then so you write who you admire and then why. And then she's like, And then she was like, you admire them because you have those qualities in you.
Exactly.
And I was like, oh, that's so cool. Yeah.
And if you compare Jordan Peterson with you,
well, I mean, I don't think I'm on that level, but
no, but like a lot of people, and something that I love about you is that you step out on what you believe.
Okay,
you know, like if someone
I
talk
admire
about
that a lot about him. Like he will sit there and debate, and he's like, "This
and
is what it is."
And he doesn't care about these people is hating me. Oh, they're telling me this. No, and so and you also have that. And actually, that's why when you make me. When you asked me to be co-host, I was like, yes, because of course he's one of the person that I admire too, but it's because of that, and I admire that a lot about you. See,
I think so. Yeah, I think I understood. So you also admire that about him.
Yeah, and about you too. So that's why I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. But so you have that. You see how you have the same. Porque digamos en las redes, si hay algo que no te gusta, tú lo pones y de malas hasta te han hecho ban en Instagram y todo.
Oh yeah. I don't care. I'm like, I'm gonna say whatever. Even like, I'm like, okay, talking about abortion. Like right now, it's like a hot topic, and I'm like, and people will message me and like try to give me their point of views, and I'm like, no, this is what it is, and you can have your point of views all day long, but I'm gonna have my point of views all day long. So.
Exactly, and you see how you are mirroring yourself with Jordan Peterson.
Okay, yeah,
and it's the same with the Universe Guru. You're teaching us what you have to learn.
Yeah,
so it's almost the same. And you're at your house.
I'm like, I learned this and it's so cool, and I want to share it.
So you see, so we basically are mirror. When someone told me like, "Oh, you're so pretty," or "You're so nice," or whatever, I always told them like, it's just you. Like you're the if you don't have that meaning or that point of view in your brain, you can. Espérame, I'm gonna say it in Spanish because también está tricky. Si tú no tienes eso en tu interior, tú no puedes verlo en otras personas.
Yeah.
Es como cuando tú nunca has robado. Okay, si quieres
okay. So she's saying when you don't have it in you, you won't see it in other people.
Oh.
Yeah.
Según yo que muy deep, amigos.
No, but it is. Like, if you think about it. So you were going to give an example.
In Spanish sounds much better. Just kidding.
No, but it is deep because sometimes we don't see certain things in people because we don't see it and we don't possess that or we don't.
Yeah. And one example, if you never, I don't know, if you never kill a person, you don't even have that in your mind. So if you go to if you have a knife or a knife, if you have a knife or a pistol or a gun, you just have it and you don't really think about it. You know,
it like never crosses your mind to use it against a person.
But if someone have that in his mind, like it's because he's gonna think, oh, someone is gonna come, it's gonna kill me, it's gonna, it's like
you expect. I think there's a saying in Spanish for it, but I can't think of it right now. But yeah, basically you expect from other people what you
have in your
what you have inside of you.
Exactly.
So
and I know we were talking about limited beliefs, but this has to be this. Oh my god, I don't know what's going on with him.
No, you're good. Okay, while you think about that, I was going to say something that I really admire by you is like how you said some people can easily give compliments. You're one of them, and like for me, sometimes it's like it's not that it's hard for me to receive it, but I feel like I'm not there yet, and I don't give out compliments as freely. I wish I could, but I know I don't because how I feel about myself. Like sometimes I'll see someone and I'm like, oh, she's so pretty, or oh, I love her shirt, or I love her outfit, or whatever, and I won't say it. And then later I'm like, I wish I would have said it. But I think it's because I'm still not there with myself yet.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
So that's something I really admire about you because you go and you like always tell people, oh, you're so pretty, or your outfit, and I'm like, oh, que bonita. Like so that makes me look at you like, oh, like you're que bonita, Like,
yeah. Oh wow. Like I never noticed that about me.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good. Thank you. Ya me olvidé todo lo que iba a decir. No, lo que me chivié como dice los mexicanos.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we were in there, and then
Yeah, so we're
over
talking
your
about
toes.
mirroring.
Mirroring, yeah.
Uh-huh.
So that has something to be with your toes, and
Mhm.
you kind of like attracting everything that you have
Mm.
in yourself,
Yes, that,
because
yeah.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
No, I was gonna say that's why it's so important before you jump into a relationship, work on yourself. Because if you're broken, you're gonna attract broken.
Yeah,
If you're
that's
healed, you're gonna
true.
attract healed. I saw there's this girl I follow on Instagram, and she posted it's a video of a little girl in La Casa de Espejos, like where it's a like haunted house, but it's just mirrors. And she keeps crashing into all the mirrors, and then it says me thinking I found the love of my life, but it's really just another mirror.
That's true. Oh, you see, it's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
And that happens with, it's not only with your boyfriend or your husband. It's like with your friends,
Yeah.
with everyone.
Yeah. Everyone. Yeah. The
You always
relationships, the
attract what
people
you
you
have
attract.
inside. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know about this. I just heard it the other day. So you tell me what you think about it. But I heard that like whenever you get butterflies when you meet someone, it's not a good thing. Like a lot of people think it's a good thing, but it's not. It's like your body kind of warning you that they have the same traumas that you have. I don't know if that's true.
Wow.
That I don't know. I just heard it the other day, and
Yeah,
I was
me
like, huh. I
either.
was like, that's interesting.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about that. I haven't like researched it at all, but I
Yeah,
was
you have
just
to
like,
read what is the chemical, but it's like
yeah,
what is
you would
happening
know.
inside of you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
I'll be back with that
Okay,
later.
yeah.
And that's gonna be my homework for
Y-
this week.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. Yeah, I was like,
Yes.
huh. I was like, I never heard of that. I always heard like it's a good thing. But if you think about it, a lot of girls are like, no, but I don't feel butterflies. It's just like boring. But really, boring is peaceful, which is a good thing.
That's true.
Yeah.
Hmm. Very nice.
Something to think about.
Yeah, like the cat, like the meme, the meme,
The meme?
the meme.
Which
Yeah,
one?
que está el gatico, the cat with the little loading
Oh.
symbol. I'm like,
It's just things that I like. Sometimes, like, I'm just on because I follow like psychologists and like certain pages. So sometimes I'm like a video will pop up and I'm like, huh, that's interesting. I hadn't heard of that
yeah.
before.
That's
Yeah.
okay. We're gonna have that for the next episode to
Yeah.
see what we researched about
Yeah.
it.
Okay, so going back to what we were talking about. So you want to let go of your limiting beliefs with love and choose new, upgraded, and more empowered core beliefs. So whenever, and then another thing she says, whenever you feel triggered, acknowledge the emotion. So instead of trying to suppress it, and we've talked about this before, never try to suppress your emotions. Just allow yourself to feel whatever it is, and then let it dissipate. Because she's like, and you've talked about this before, where it's like you use the river as an example.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I didn't do it in this episode, right?
I think so.
Oh
Did you? I don't
no.
know.
Okay, I'm gonna say
Yeah.
the example again. So it's basically what I was talking about, the emotions, how they connect with your toes and your body. So if you have an emotion and you just feel it, it's almost like a river. So if you saw a river, it's always
Flowing.
flowing, and if you put something on the river and
And
stop
block it.
the flowing, the water is gonna look dirty, it's gonna smell bad, and things like that. So that always happen with your emotions. And also in biodecoding, that's I think that's the translation.
Okay, okay.
Biodecoding, that is what I'm coaching. They're talking about that, how your sickness, or how your sickness and enfermedad,
Yeah.
how your sickness is just a limited belief that you never work on. So it's an emotion that you create based on the perception that you made about some situation, and you never work on that, and you just put it on the back, and it has to flow in some way. And the way to flow is just by your body. And it's I don't know if it's true completely, but I really
think
feel that
so.
it's really accurate, because they make you study the whole biological feeling, like the whole biological
Okay.
chemical situation.
Okay.
And then they make you study the how the emotion is created, or the emotion is formed.
Okay.
And then they merge those two, and you're like, it's so logical, why I never think about this. And the best example is the one that I just gave, about the stress. How whenever you feel you have a stress, you feel it, but you also start to like feeling emotionally, but you also start to feeling physically. So it's true. It's your body always gonna be connected with the limited beliefs. So sometimes if you have a situation, or I don't know if I explained right. Do you understand me?
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then I've also heard people that say that, I think that she's one of them, the universe guru. She had like autoimmune system, something, PCOS. I don't remember exactly what, but it was like a few things. And she was like, when I healed myself emotionally, I healed myself physically.
And that's true. I have an example, and it's really personal. But when I came here, I came at the age here at the United States. I came at 19 years old. So my plan was to come just for 6 months and study in the university and then go back to Colombia. But of course, my plans are not
God's plans.
God's plans. So I remember that it was like it wasn't bad, but it was like a bad disconnection for me with my family.
Okay.
Like I'm meaning, yeah, about this connection with my family, because I only told my mom like, I don't cry, I'll be back, and don't worry, you know, it's okay. You know, it's okay. And then I start to living by myself here, and I used to have a roommate, and then I don't have my own space. I don't know how can I explain that, but I never feel here as my home.
Okay.
So I started feeling a pain in my belly that it was really bad, but really, really bad. I remember one time I was on HEB and I was with my car, with my shopping cart.
Yeah.
And then I have like I felt like a
A knife?
A knife. Siempre lo pronuncio mal, como era. A knife was inside of my belly, but it was so bad that I remember that I just like
you curled up?
Yeah, I curled up like a baby, and I was crying, and a man was like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I don't know what I'm feeling right now," but that makes me alert, have an alert in my brain, like, okay, you have to go to the doctor.
Yeah.
So I went to the doctor, and they do all the studies, and they noticed that I have a it was like a una masa, ¿sí?
I don't know.
It was una masa,
like a
¿cómo se dice
clump,
masa?
maybe?
It wasn't a tumor, but it was kind of like a tumor on my uterus. Yeah. So when they noticed that, they were like, okay, you are creating like yourself. It wasn't a baby, of course, but I was creating like it's almost like PCOS, but it's not PCOS, like ovario poliquístico.
Okay.
PCOS, I think it's called PCOS, something like that.
Polycystin.
Polycystin ovarium. I don't know if that's...
This is beyond my vocabulary. but I understand what you're saying.
Hopefully the people
do too. Yeah. Because what would it be, like a benign tumor, maybe?
It was so I was so afraid, and I was so sad. I remember that I was crying because they told me we have to make a study to see if it's cancerígeno. If it's a carcinoma?
If it's cancer.
If it's cancer, yeah. I overcomplicate myself with English.
We will go read and study some more words. We will be back later.
Okay, I was so sad, and I remember that I start with my certification. It was online, so in the same time I start to do that, and I start to learn all these situations. So I remember that they were talking about the uterus.
Okay.
And I was like, okay. And they explain you, like I say, they explain you how is the biological part, and then they explain you how is connect with your emotional part.
Okay.
So they were explaining me, okay, if you think about your uterus, it's the home for a baby, because it's what creates the placenta,
Mhm.
and then it protect the baby for everything.
Okay.
So if you have that situation with your uterus, it's because you don't feel like you are in your home. You don't feel protected. So yourself
Wow.
internally start to create something to fulfill your home. And I was like,
Wow.
what? Of course, for me, it was like, and then I remember that I have to be doing studies because they were afraid that if it was cancer, they have to like remove it. So I remember that I was praying and I was like, please, God, I like take care of this situation. I don't want my emotions to take over. I'm just gonna be with my faith in you, and you just do whatever you need to do with me.
Yeah.
And I work with that part of my emotions, and I move by myself and I create my own space. I remember that I put my sofa and I put my seat, like I put everything like I like it. And then like later I start to like realize that my life, it was like my life for that moment era aquí.
Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah, my life
your life was here now.
was here now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I made I changed my mindset about it. So I remember that I start to create my sofa, my mattress, everything like I like it. And then months later, because it was every 3 months, I take my study again. And then they told me like, okay, like, they do a study and they noticed that I don't have any célula cancerígena.
Yeah, so it's not cancerous.
Yeah, it wasn't cancer. But 3 months later, so that's why they were like, okay, if it's giving you pains, you have to do a surgery and you have to remove that from your body. So I remember that 3 months later, I have to go to see what happens with the mass and everything with the little thingy.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
I
then
think that is mass.
yeah, it's a
I think
mass,
so.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, if not, I'm just translating masa from mass. So
You guys understand.
yeah. The little thingy. So I went to the doctor and they were like, "Are you sure they don't give you a wrong
Like analysis?
analysis?" And I was like, "No, it's good." And they were like, "There's nothing there."
Wow.
So it was a miracle for me, but I think it's because I go like I don't know if it's true or not. That's why I was telling like I don't know how to explain it like scientifically.
Right.
And I think it was something that really make me like when I changed everything. It was weird how in 3 months only a mass that was like this big just disappear.
Yeah.
So right now I'm like, what? Like,
Yeah. I mean, that just goes to show like how we're so connected, like emotionally, spiritually, physically.
That's
like
true.
it's and some people just worry about the physical and they don't worry about the emotional or the physical or the spiritual. And sometimes people don't believe that there's that that it's important, but just because you can't touch something doesn't mean it's not there or it's not important or doesn't need to be addressed.
Yeah, you did the example about love last time. You were telling that if you say, okay, I love my wife or you're my husband or my fiance. If you told me, okay, I love my fiance, and I told you I don't see the love, like show me the love, you can show that.
Okay, it's not tangible.
It's
Yeah.
not tangible. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think you did that example in the last episode, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so there's certain things that are real, but you can't see them or touch them. They just aren't. You can feel them. But yeah. So yeah, I think a lot of people just don't believe in certain things because they're like, I have to see it, I have to touch it. Well, there's more to life than physical. There's also emotional, there's also spiritual. And you have to acknowledge that if you want to be good, like as a whole. Because so this podcast was started to focus on the 7 dimensions of health. And you have emotional, you have spiritual, you have physical, you have financial, occupational, social, environmental. You have to be good in all aspects of your life, because when you're lacking in one, you're going to feel it. And sometimes you can't pinpoint to what it is until you sit down and analyze, okay, where am I at emotionally? Where am I at spiritually? Where am I at financially? And then once you realize where you're lacking, you can work on that, and then you can move on and better yourself.
That's true. And actually, that made me remember
Reminder.
remind. Estoy hablando como las del video de María Guadalupe. No los visto, te la voy a pasar para que me entiendas. Okay. Pero bueno, okay, so that remind me about an exercise that I used to teach when I was a coach, when I was practicing that. Yeah. So it is the circle of wellness.
Ah, yes.
So you put your let me look for it. Circle of wellness. Okay. You put a percentage on every dimension that you just mentioned. So health. So okay. How do you feel about your health? So it's you remember that we did this on House of Bloggers? The circle.
I don't remember.
That it was okay. Let me. Oh no, yes, you.
Who did we do it with?
With psicóloga Mariale.
Okay.
Okay, but okay, you just create an emotional, no, and then you just put 0, and in the top on the outside of the circle is the number 10, and you put a value on that, how you feel emotionally. So if you put a 5 or 10 or whatever, so you just point that part, no, and then on the part of occupational, how you feel about your occupation. So 0 if you feel bad, or 10 if you feel excellent. So you just put your number there, and then you the intellectual, how do you feel about your intellectual? So you just put your number again, the same thing. And environmental, 0, how you contributing with your environmental, have your if you help or if you in everything, no, like right. So in your environment,
in your environment, yeah.
Like in general. So you put 0 or 10. If you feel great, you just put 10. If you don't feel really good, you put 5 or whatever. Like you just give numbers 0 to 10, and then the financial, how you feel financially, 0 to 10 is the same with everything, with social, physical, and spiritual. So and then you're gonna have like a different points, and you're gonna unir.
You're gonna connect them.
You're gonna connect all the points. When you connect that, you're gonna see how far are you to have your whole circle.
I think I kind of remember. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, so now you know, and you can create your plan to work in the areas that you really need to work on. Okay. So let's say financially it's really bad right now. So okay, let's learn how to budget myself, or how to get more income, or spiritually it's not that good. So okay, let's connect with something that I really love. Let's see what's God. Let's read the Bible. Let's learn about it. You know, I like all the little pies or little pieces
of pie.
Are gonna give you a plan in order to become or become what you really want to be, or what to fulfill your purpose. Yeah. Se me está acabando el inglés, amigos.
No, that was good. And it's interesting because I'm thinking, like, I don't remember doing that. Like, I kind of remember now that you're saying it, and now is what I'm teaching. So it's like, it's funny because sometimes you hear things at certain stages of your life and they don't really resonate with you, or you forget about it. Exactly. And then later in life, you're like, oh my God, I discovered this amazing thing.
I never heard about it. That's true. That happens to me with the Bible.
Yeah,
it was the same about it. In this episode.
No, I think it was a Spanish one.
Oh,
so we can go ahead and talk about it.
I remember when I grew up as a Christian my whole life, but when you grow up as a Christian, you don't really create your relationship with God. For me, no, it's not. It doesn't have to be just like me. But I remember that I didn't have my relationship. I just went to the church every Sunday, and I read the Bible or I did the discipulados.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
Like a workbook type?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I do that and everything, but I never, for myself, have a really meaningful relationship with God. Yeah. So I just saw God separately, like he's over there just judging on things like that. Yeah. And then when I start to build myself, I noticed that my spiritual part was really low. So I was like, okay, I always, my spiritual part was always in regards someone that spoke to me about it, but never about me looking to it.
Okay.
So I start to, okay, I have to look to it. I have to start learning about it. So
Right.
I was reading the Bible, and Andy Woods, actually, he's in Sugarland. He's here. I always look him in YouTube.
Okay.
But I has been learning a lot with him because he explained every detail in the Bible, and he also takes like scientifically proof that like sustain what the Bible is telling and everything. So I start to create that, and I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. Ay, Dios. Ay, Dios, ya me frustré por el inglés que no me sale. Yeah, so when I learn everything, it's telling you how to live your life in a better way, actually. And then I was thinking, okay, I did all this coaching and all this stuff that it's on the Bible. So for me, it was like, okay, like, claro, fantastico.
You're like, I learned all this cool information that I paid for, and it's awesome, and nobody knows about it.
Yeah, and I was like, why it never resonated with me in that way, or in this way.
Yeah.
And I think it was because it wasn't my time, I guess.
Yeah, maybe.
So now that I read, I'm like, oh my god, this is here. Or like I don't know. It's funny how it happens.
Yeah, or maybe it is the way that it's presented to us. Like, a lot of people think of the Bible or of God as something that's just judging you, but in reality, there's so much good advice. The other day I was listening to Jordan Peterson, and yes, and there was a TikTok, and he was talking about trust, and he said, you can't be naive and completely like blindly trust a person, because you're gonna get hurt. We're, as human beings, we're all good and bad, right? So like, we all have snakes, is what he calls it. And he says, but you can't like be cynical either, to where you're like pushing everybody away because you don't trust them. It's like, you have to find like a happy medium where you understand that this person comes with snakes, and there's the chance the snakes might bite you, but you're taking a risk, so you're trusting that they won't do it, but you know that the possibility is there. And I thought that was so good. And then me acordé, like, I remember in the Bible it says, maldito el hombre que confía en el hombre. I don't know how it is in English, but I don't know, I should probably look it up.
But yeah, it's true. Like, I saw these people saying all these like coaches, and I think that's why I was like, I'm gonna step up a little bit, because it's almost the same that it's in the Bible. Like, the other one is let me remember, lo de la unión sexual, with your sexual relationships. It says you have to be with the person that is really meant to be for you, because you're gonna share so many. It's more spiritual. The connection is more spiritual than physical. And now you're looking some coachings telling you like, oh, you have to, the same thing that it's in the Bible, just with like, I think it's modern words, but it's the same. It's like, yeah, everything is spiritual. Yeah. So it's like, okay, it's in the Bible, why do you have to?
Yeah, and it's funny because that you talk about that. Let me just translate it real quick. It's, cursed is the one who trusts in man. So yeah, it's basically telling you don't trust in another man. Know that the risk is there. But so anyway, so going back to what you said about sex, I grew up in a very Christian home as well, and my mom always said, you have to wait until you're married. And I tried to like, I waited for as long as I could, like getting personal here. Like, I waited until college. So, but then it's like everybody around me was doing it, people saw it as whatever. And you kind of like fall into that because of the culture that's around you. So you're like, no pasa nada, like, not no pasa nada, right? But it's like, it's my mom, like, she's old school, like, oh, she's religious, whatever. She doesn't know. But then as you get older and you see I started seeing people talk about it like scientifically, and how it does align with what the Bible says, like, only be with one person. And I was like, I guess she did know what she was talking about.
Yeah, I think she read it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. But it's always difficult to believe in that, because we put the religion, between us. So that's actually, I was talking with my dad about it, because I remember I was starting I started to explain something about the Bible, and he was like, "I no, don't come with religion." And I was like, "But that doesn't have anything to do with religion.
Right. Yeah.
It's just the Bible. No, it's like a manual. So it's a manual to how you live your life, and it's just amazing how it's a book that it has been older than
Yeah, and the science in it too.
How everything has been becoming true, like little by little.
Yeah, the prophecies.
The prophecies, and also because but it's we don't gonna go
not too deep. Okay,
but we can talk about it. At the end of the episode. But it's really good. So
so
I think it never resonates with you because you haven't been able to create that relationship. And it happens with everything. It's like when your mom told you some advice and you're like, oh, she's too old, but when you have the age, you're like, what I did that?
You're like, now I understand it.
But it's because you're not naive. You have a little bit of ego, your ego.
And I think like we also go through that like teenage phase where we think we know everything, and our parents, what do they know? They're old, So that was me. I went through that age.
But don't you think that happens right now as an adult with things that you learn, and then you're and then when you hear it from someone else, like the universe guru, you're like, oh wow, So I think we always have our ego or ego.
Yeah, I think so.
We don't wanna. Like yesterday, I was talking with my sister about some stuff, like my feelings, and she was like, "You remind me to David." Okay. I was like, "David, like me? Yes, the Psalms."
Okay.
And then I start to read the Psalms, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm so bipolar, just like him." It's so funny.
What does it say?
In the whole Psalms, he's always expressing what he feels with God.
Okay.
So now that I'm going through my stuff with my grandpa, that he's sick, and you don't know, this episode is so personal.
It got real personal.
So my grandpa is sick right now. So I always like cry and like, please God, help me with this, what I have to do, like things like that. And then the next day I'm like, I understand what like all your purpose, and I understand that everything is happen for a reason. And the next day I'm crying like, why God, why? And it's the same with David. You see David, and the first day he's like, I don't know, glorify God and things like that. And the next day he's like, please so remember God that I'm here. Like, so it was funny. But I don't know what.
But I think that's human though. Like there's days where you're like you're thinking like logically, and you're like, okay, this. But then like the next day you're emotional, so then like your emotions take over. Yeah,
your emotion, and I think it's ego too, because you think you can have everything under control by your control.
Okay,
but you don't see that there is some people that maybe know more about it than you. I don't know if that's my conclusion, because I was like, oh, so my sister gave me the perfect advice because I read it and I was like, yeah, that's true. I'm just going by my emotions.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I think it's good to process, like we talked about, like don't suppress your emotions, just let them out.
Oh yeah, definitely. No, but it's funny how everything is like
one day you're like, oh yes, I believe in you. Yeah, my faith is strong. Yeah. And then the next day, why me?
So it's
I feel like I've been through that too. Yeah, it happens to me too.
It's a belief. Like, are you really believing? Are you really have a relationship or not?
Yeah, but God loved David, so the fact that you're like,
that's why I was like, if I'm like David, I'm good.
Yes.
Just kidding. No, he killed his.
No way.
He killed his.
The guy.
Yeah.
Okay, well, don't go killing people.
Oh my god. No, okay.
Okay. So you're doing the scan. So when you're doing the scan, so going back to what we were talking about, trying to figure out. Scan your body from head to toe. Notice any sensations, any tightness, pain, burning, etc. And then just sit with the sensation. Don't try to change it. Just see it. Allow it to be. So David would allow his emotions to be. And allow any emotions, tears, feelings that come up, and allow them all into the experience. And she says this is the best way to do it because you allow it to dissipate. So when you're holding on to something and you're suppressing your emotions, that thing is always going to be there. But if you let it out, like you're letting it go, it might take some time. It might take a few cries, maybe a lot of cries, but eventually you're going to let it go.
That's true.
Yeah. And then she talks about worth versus confidence. So I thought this was pretty cool. So how to know the difference between worth and confidence. Worth, you are born worthy. There's nothing you can do or that's going to change that about you. You're just born worthy. And then confidence is practicing. So let's say you don't feel comfortable talking. Well, you practice talking. You don't feel comfortable cooking. So you practice cooking. You don't feel comfortable speaking in English. So you practice speaking in English.
That's true.
Yes. Yes. And then eventually you build confidence. And then she just talks about journaling. She says that for her, what works for her is journaling for 12 minutes. So she says, don't lift the pen, just write for 12 minutes. She was like, and usually it comes to her like at minute 9. But she just keeps writing. She's like, if I don't know what to write, I just write. I don't know why I'm feeling like this. I don't know why I'm feeling like this. And she goes on and on until like she says minute 9 is usually when she like it all comes out.
Wow.
So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So now you have 3 exercises. The first one is the Ikigai. The second one is the wellness circle. And this one that is writing down everything.
Yes.
And, okay, I know the other ones were in the first episode, but
pretty
much this is for this
These
episode.
Are the new ones. Yeah. And then eventually we do, since we've been out for so long, we haven't worked on it yet, but we will. We're going to have extra episodes.
Yeah.
If you want to subscribe to that. And that's going to have the exercises.
Yeah.
So we're going to, we don't want to, we still want to provide free content, but if you do want to subscribe for the extra episodes or the bonus episodes, those will have exercises for you to do.
When we teach this in the deeper meaning, right? Deeper meaning?
Yeah.
Yeah. So so it's basically that. So I hope you like this episode. It's too long, it's too personal, but it's really interesting.
But I feel like we brought a lot of good information today.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like we, not to like toot our own horns, right? But I feel like we usually do, but I really like this one.
Yeah, I really like it too. And I feel like even with the technical difficulties, it's gonna come out really good. So thank you so much again for being here.
Thank you for coming here. and thank you guys for listening. Before we go, we do want to give a special thank you to our sponsors, BCN Supplements. You can visit us at www.bcnsubs.com. You can use code BUILT, BUILT, for 10% off. And you can follow us on social media at BCN Supplements. What did I say the website was? www.bcnsubs.com. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to make sure I didn't mess it up.
Yeah, we also have our sponsor, Diego Cosmetics. You can look at www.makeupbydiego.com and you can shop any type of beauty products like lipsticks, lashes,
palettes, eyeshadow palettes.
Eyeshadows.
Eyeshadows.
So thank you so much again for listening. Please, any comment that you have, it's always welcome. You can follow us.
We love feedback.
It's amazing. And if you have a different opinion, just bring that up. Not because we're gonna fight or anything like that.
Don't make us our fight. We're open to listening to different opinions. So we're not close-minded.
Yeah, because you always learn about different opinions, and we can probably mirroring ourselves with you,
like you and I, we think the same. Possibly.
So basically, so thank you so much for listening us. Follow us on Instagram, Brianda.Carrasco, and Ale Mora with H at the end, 11. So Ale Mora, 11. And that's pretty much it. And build from the inside out.
Build from the inside out. We'll start working more on that as well.
Yeah.
And don't forget to subscribe. It does help us a lot. If you're on YouTube, give us a like, leave us a comment. If you're on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, what do? You just subscribe, right?
Yeah, you
leave a review. Leave a positive review.
Yeah. But thank
Yeah.
you. Oh, we forgot our little teeny.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in today.
Bye.
Bye.